Who's first? Who wants to start?
Let's start with, how many guys did you take out to dinner this week?
I told you we're vegetarians. We don't go to steak dinners.
Niemi City took them out to the steak. So
Next question.
You probably saw a lot of those young guys during the week, but anybody stood out for you guys in terms of interviews or physical tests?
You know what? Every year these young men become more and more mature as young men. And there's many of them that stood out, and there's not few that act like 17 or 18-year-olds anymore. A lot of them are well prepared for this sort of thing, for the questions and the interview process, but we do our best to find out exactly the personality that lies behind the mask that we watch on the ice all season.
Are the interviews more important than physical tests at this point?
No, well, everything's important. It's like playing golf. Each piece of information or type of information that we gather is like a golf club in your golf bag. So you need to use all of it to be able to do your best and to have the most accurate projection of the play. Now, just the same as playing golf, what's the most important golf club in your bag? Where do you make all your money with? Putter. There you go. The putter, exactly. So, as an analogy, the putter in hockey for us in the scouting profession is what we see on the ice. That's the most important. And we've seen many, many games this season as a scouting staff of all these players, and that's what's the most important in our overall final projection of players.
You have that analogy later.
No, I just made it up. Yeah, look at the weather. It looks like a nice day.
In light of how much younger the league is getting, I know that is NHL readiness more and more of a factor for you guys in terms of how you make the final selection?
We have a saying in the scouting industry that it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So there's always surprises, but there's always going to be a few of these young players that will play games in the NHL next year. But what's most important to us, the Montreal Canadiens, is what these players that we select are going to do for our team, not just next year, but in the years to come. They're fully mature and ready to lead the Montreal Canadiens. So we're not looking for a quick fix. We're looking for players that will help build this franchise into an annual contender, not just the playoffs, but contest the Stanley Cup.
how do you deal with fans who want to fix stuff?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I pass those questions on to Mark Ridgely.
What's it like for a chief scout to have four second-round draft picks? Is it fun?
It's like having two Christmases on the same day. Santa Claus is coming twice. No, it's exciting. It gives us a lot of weapons. There's been a few years that we haven't had, many picks or many second-round picks, and it's a chance for us to add depth, add some good, solid prospects to our organization. You always find some players that you value as first-round prospects, but for some reason sit in the second round. We've had some good second-rounders come out of the draft. Case Subban was one of them.
The other side of that is you have ammunition if you want to move back up to the first round, you think?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be exciting, and we have that ammunition to be able to move up or down in the draft. Including the third overall pick, that's a higher asset value than the fourth overall pick in the draft. And using those 4 seconds, we could manipulate up or down in the draft. But, we all go to the dance as singles. We still have to find a partner to dance with on that dance floor.
With all the picks you got.
With the 4 second-rounders, how wide of a net do you have, or how much wider of a net do you have to cast at events like this, or just in general preparation to that sort of range of players?
Yeah, that's a good question. We try, every year we try to do as much work as we can on all the prospects that make what I call our draft board. We don't want to draft a player that we've never met, never spent time with, never interviewed in depth, never did any fitness testing. that could lead to mistakes, whether you don't find out something medically that's wrong about a player. Maybe you've never met a player, done any testing, you might find out that he has a heart issue after you draft him. Then you've wasted that draft pick. You've wasted the chance to gain another asset. So it's very important for us, not only this year, but every year, to gather as much information that we can to help us make the best picks, the best decisions that we can at the draft.
With all the picks that you have, will you go beyond this, or do you have your own company?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I don't want to tell all the other teams, but yeah, we have our own combine on June 7th. Many other teams have their own combine too, but we're bringing 28 players into Montreal. It's not only draft prospects, but also players that, especially in the queue, that we may have interest in moving forward, whether it's on an American League contract or potential NHL contract free agent signing down the road. And then we're also taking our caravan over to Stockholm, which is new to us. And we're going to test about 16 European prospects in Stockholm with our staff, some staff from Sweden. So we just found that there were a number of players with all the picks that we have that weren't at this conference. We need to gather more information. We're going to them instead of bringing them.
So you'll do more interviews this year?
Oh, we got a lot more interviews. A lot more work to go. It's a long way till June 22nd.
If I understand correctly, you're not allowed to invite.
Exactly. Well, any players that have been invited, that's the key word, invited. A player may have been invited, whether they're here or not. There's some prospects that were invited. They didn't come through. So yes, the players that weren't invited.
But you can bring players in.
You can bring players that are at this combine in for a more interview process, a more in-depth medical process. You can't do any type of fitness testing on or off.
Are you planning to do any of it?
I don't want to. I don't want to show you my hand. I'm a good poker player. I told you we're vegetarian. We're not going to any steak dinners. There's a couple of good vegetarian restaurants in Montreal. You're going to steak those?
I got better things to do.
Play golf.
That's definitely not playing golf.
With 4 second round picks, do you have guys that are like high risk, high reward?
I would say
the risk is so
could
be so high that if you had fewer than four picks, you would say no, he could not be our guy, but because of the sheer amount of picks that you are likely to have, you could take a gamble on a player like that.
Well, I think the key thing you're trying to talk about is upside. We're looking for guys that have a high ceiling, a high upside, potentially be top 6 forwards, top 4 men, starting goalies. That's what we're trying to draft. And we're looking to add skill, speed, character work, all that stuff. But you see the way today's game is played. It's played fast. We want players that can play the game fast.
Still best player available. First round.
Sure, always is.
Now you're gonna take need into.
See, the thing you got to be careful when we start to talk about need is that you can say you need to draft by need, but if you draft specifically by need and you draft a player just for need, and he's not good enough to fulfill that need in the future, then you've wasted the asset.
Do you feel that in this draft, especially some guys that you might project at the end of the first round could slip early in the second?
Well, for sure, it happens every year. Yeah, I can't tell you who. I can't tell you the order after the first pick for sure. But after that, probably the second pick should be the way it goes. Maybe the third pick. Who knows? I don't know who's picking third.
You were talking about the needs. You have the 3rd overall pick, which is a really good pick. But then with the 4 second round, can you always go with the best available? But then because you have that many second round picks, can you kind of go along with getting what you want?
That's a good question too. But it's just hard to predict who's going to be available at that time. And like as I said, based on need. Will those players available at that time be able to fulfill that need? Need a crystal ball for that, so I'll be searching for one before June 27th. A crystal ball.
How do you not have one at this point in your career?
Will you also have to take into account who might be picking at you and who might still be available?
Yeah, you have to be aware of your surroundings for sure. The teams before and after you, and they're, try to keep an eye on in the rinks late in the season who's concentrating on what players. Get a feel. Maybe sometimes you guys can find information for us too, where certain players are coveted by which teams.
Like if you were,
And send it my way, so I have a better feel for what's going
like for
on.
example, if you were looking at a player that had staked with two other teams drafting just behind you,
That would be good
that'd
information.
be Chicago, right?
Yeah.
The experience of the 2015 draft with the Rose Valley, like having 3 second-round picks, can it bring you some wisdom into how to approach that second round this year?
Yeah, every draft is different, every season is different. I think the game has changed. Like at that time, we were trying to add some size as well as skill. Of those 3 players, who's got the most upside today? Who's the smallest? At that time, in the last so every year's different, but we see the way the game has gone now. Size isn't as much of an issue anymore. You have to play the game fast. And you have to even on defense. Who would have guessed Victor Mete when we selected him? He would have been playing the national hockey. I would
I guess does having so many picks allow you to take more risks?
Yeah,
You could
just
miss
don't want.
on it, and it wouldn't be a disaster.
Well, you're getting into the risk reward. I think the main thing is the upside. So if we pick a player who we deem their upside to be, say a second line center, but he's 155 games old, there's no worries.
Let's say your demon would be a second line center. I mean, there's other risks. It's not just
Yeah, there's different risks. That's all put into consideration when we develop our draft board.
We'll look at the other players available after Dallin, like Svechnikov and Zadina and Chuck. After this week, after you talk to them and the text that you see on the ice, which one of them you feel would fit if you not pick one right now, but if you could pick one, which one do you think fits more with Montreal?
Next question. There's 30 other teams out there. Wondering what's going on. They're gonna listen to this.
there's only 2 teams you have to worry about.
Right.
Did you learn anything through the interview process to go with what you saw on the ice from these guys?
Yeah, I think what we do in Montreal, our sports science department has developed an online tool where Dr. David Scott, who works with our teams and us now as well, the scouting department, is developed an online personality and behavioral assessment tool. And so the players fill out a personality and behavioral assessment during the season, and as well as a player information file, and we can view that. But Dr. Scott takes all that information, and then he comes with us into our interview process here, and he's highlighted, maybe red flags, maybe a player, it came up that he lacks confidence in his assessment. And he will devise questions, specifically on confidence issues, and try to flesh that out and see whether it matches what we're seeing in person in the interview with what he filled out online, and then whether that matches up with what we see on the ice. Because self-confidence is huge, in developing young players and the National Hockey League players.
He's a psychologist.
Yeah. Along with you and this is the first year that we put this all together. Yeah. It's been a really good process.
Did you
Fighters
consider?
fill that out during the season?
Yes.
Fighters fill that
Yeah,
out?
during the season.
Do you consider this draft as crucial for your team and your scouting department?
I think it's a huge opportunity for us to acquire assets that will really give depth to our team, get some young prospects that can help get to Laval and get to Montreal and help our team win in the near future. Yes.
How did Rick's departure change your work over the last couple of months? Because I think he played a pretty big part.
Yeah, it was good to have Mr. Dudley's experience with us. You know, he's got a lot of experience. He's a great scout, and he's done a lot of work. He worked very closely with Shane Shirler and myself this season and the second half of last season. So he was careful not to show him any lists or anything before he snuck off to Carolina. So he doesn't know what I'm thinking, but I know the way he's thinking. So.
How specifically, so did you have one of those files for every guy that came in to speak with you guys this week?
Yes, we did.
And that's tailored each interview based on the information.
Yeah, Dr. Scott, his interview, Shane Shirla, our Director of Amateur Scouting, and myself, the player came in. We tried to ask questions that would make the player feel relaxed, get them laughing, talk about their family, talk about their own game, talk about their team, the players on their team that they played against. And he said it's first year they're filled in there with these questions specifically for that player.
Did you feel that you needed to make those interviews even more valuable?
It's something I've been trying to improve upon every year and take it to another level instead of a player going through the standard questions for the 31 teams. Try to get as much information and make that 20-minute window as useful as possible.
So you're not into those weird questions like some other teams can do?
Well, Dr. Scott has a lot of different questions. Some are funny, some are weird, but they extract the information he's looking for. You know, a lot of you people have met him before, but he's very intelligent and he's a guy's guy. You know what I mean? He fits into the hockey world. Just goes about his business. He's quiet, but he's a lot of fun to be with. He's a lot of fun for the players when they have the when he asks the questions. It makes it fun.
Nobody's asked what kind of tree they would be.
None of those, no.
Did you acquire video game habits?
Yeah, that's we ask that question with them, especially when we have a player information file they fill out during the season, and one is they have to list their hobbies. So if they list video games or gaming or whatever, then that's a flag.
I mean, I know there's some ideas of like kids playing too much.
Yeah, a lot of young people now are spending too much time on it. Through all hours of the night, not getting enough rest, that sort of thing.
Is it something that's been noticed and observed even before Alex Friedman's podcast that seemed to really bring up that issue and made it public overnight?
You know what, I think it's been an issue for years and years. Like you take, going way back, one of our players, Alex Friedman, the year he was drafted, I remember him sitting down, he was slouched in the chair. He didn't look like an athlete at all. We asked him what he did. He plays video games all day, all night. Well, that's a long time ago. But now, I guess with the advent of technology and being able to go online and to play against your friends, that can be a big issue, especially if some of your friends are in Europe. On the other side of the continent.
You balance that about the good effects of video games as far as reflexes.
Yeah, I'm not saying video games.
No, I'm just saying.
They're not getting enough rest.
You were talking about the second round picks as being assets that you can use to move up or down. Is there a way to get a good sense of what the pick what's worth moving up or down a certain number of ranks? If you want to, let's say, package 2 second rounders to get late in the first. Is there a way of figuring out, of measuring what you need to go up certain?
Yeah, we can, some teams, including ours, we can devise a table based on past history, but that on the value of the 43rd pick, the value of that. But that's history. A lot of it is feel on draft day. If a team really covets a player that's still on the board, you never know what they're willing to give up to get that player. So if they have a strong, they value that player a lot, they may give you more than what somebody had in the past.
Where is the drop off?
I think there's a clear top 11, and after that, cross our fingers and hope our 12th player is